Alright, this video is about how to tell if you are being manipulated or lied to or being used. Um, so one thing I've noticed out here in this world is there are three types of people. There are um stupid people, ignorant, stupid people that could be ignorant people. They might be just slightly stupid. There are smart people out there, very smart people. Um, and then there are users out there, people that are they like to use people to get something, so they're manipulators. The stupid people or the naive people, let's say, they are usually targeted by the manipulators. The smart people, they usually try to stay away from manipulation and try to not be manipulated. But the naive people are very vulnerable to being manipulated, and they make up the mass of our societies. So how did we end up with, maybe 7.4 billion people on the planet, and maybe 87 or 80% of them being naive and prone to manipulation by external forces? And that was done by the grooming process through the schools, through the governments, through the religions, um, through the food sources, and just general grooming. A large part in America is they take the fathers away from the kids as soon as possible, and they really try to break down the family unit to weaken individuals. Um, so we can see right away the manipulators are pretty intelligent. They're usually on top of the food chain in society. They're usually educated, and they usually have positions of power. Some people call them psychopaths. Some people call them narcissistic. Um, on the low end, they are common criminals and end up in jails and prisons. And on the bigger end, they're in the judicial and the political circuits. So, in the base level, on the individual level, how do we tell if we are being manipulated, lied to, or just plain being used by somebody? Well, on your own, by yourself, you're the only person that is predicting your or deciding your outcome on an individual basis. When you introduce another individual, it could be anybody, it could be a brother, a sister, it could be a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend. Um, we look for what's called alternative motives. So if somebody has an alternative motive, maybe they can use you in some way, they can make money off you, is one way. Um, say in a third world country, your see kids are, a mine might a diamond mine, for instance, might offer some really small pay for little kids to come in and dig in a dangerous mine. They know the kids can fit in the small holes, so since there's nobody taking care of human rights, and it's no big deal if a couple of them die, or maybe 50 of them die, because at the end of the day, the owners of the mine will reap the rewards from the profits. Uh, on a small scale, energy is the most common thing that people like to use. We see this with females a lot. Females are used for their energy through marriage or through boyfriends, um, or through just people in general. They got to be around somebody. So if you see somebody that they have the need to be around somebody else, that's what's called a parasitic relationship. It's a very bad thing to be in a parasitic relationship, because it either uses one person's energy all up, or it will it's usually bad just in the basis of the word. You should be able to come to the conclusions of this, but this is very common. So the most easy way to spot if somebody is being used is if they have a parasitic relationship with somebody. Now, in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, this is the most common use of a parasitic relationship. Very easy to spot from people outside of the relationship, because, you know, if the person says, hey, I got to go to the store, and they can't go to the store without somebody else being with them, or they want to go to a restaurant, but the other person has to be with them. This is not natural, it's not healthy, and it is not leading to that person's conscious evolution. It's depriving them of that, because they need to hold somebody's hand, for instance, and I'm talking about adults here, to cross the street, for instance. If you need to hold somebody's hand to go cross the street or go walking and you're an adult, you have a severe problem. This is very prevalent in today's society. But this is one way of use of somebody using somebody's energy, and I may break this video down into several parts. I'm still working on editing. I am not a professional by any means at editing, so please forgive me for my lack of editing skills. Okay, and on the being used. The next way people are used, or on a bigger scale, is by governments. For instance, you have to go to work, you have to go to a job, assuming you have to do all these things. And the first thing they're going to do is they take money out for whatever they want. That's a source of usury or slavery that probably wasn't agreed on by both parties. Only one party agreed to it. Really actually factually agreed to the terms. They were forced into it and subjugated to it by needing their basic needs. I hope I don't get shot for saying this, but that's just the fact of the matter. So if you have to have food to survive, or you have to have housing so you don't die in the winter, or you have to have something and you have to go sign a contract in order to not die, that is a force of a contract. It's illegal, and it's very common, very commonly done. Forced subjugation by contract would be what that is called, but that is a source of usury, and it is very prevalent in today's society. And no, I don't have all the answers, but I am trying to make people aware of what slavery is, what usury is, and hopefully that they're not so gullible, because what we don't need is 80% of humanity to be gullible and stupid and slaves. We do not need slaves in society. What we need is consciously evolved people that care about the earth and care about one another. And what we have is 80% of people living in delusion, probably 90% of people living in delusion, and parasites at the top of our food chain, and we don't need that. So yeah. So to tell if you're being lied to, manipulation. Are you being manipulated? Is somebody using your energy? And does somebody have alternative motives? These are questions to ask. What is the other person gaining from being around me? What am I gaining from being around them? And is it a equation that I'm happy with? So yeah, just some questions, hopefully to enlighten people just a little bit.